So, didn't pack my radio away, set it on the tire, now it's in 10,000 pieces. You think Spectrum will warranty that for me?
Yeah, it should.
It's rugged, but it's not rugged like that. Razor!
What's up everybody, Ty Campbell with Tekin Builds here, and we finally got to drive the VS4-10 Phoenix, and I gotta say this truck is quickly becoming one of my favorites, and not because it's the best performing, not because it's the best looking, well, it might be one of the best looking, I do like this body quite a bit, but because this truck has a lot of character. And what do you mean by character? It's a little top heavy. I'll come out and say it right now. It's a little top heavy, and most of that is my fault. You know, I decided it had to have a spare tire. I think that's important on a trail truck, even if you're not going for comp points or anything like that. I always like to carry gear around that you would see on an actual truck out on the trail. So spare tire, that's a must. But I did have to take it off to make a couple of climbs, and we'll check that out so I can show you that even that little extra weight from a spare tire up top, while it can help in some situations, when you're climbing or you're side hilling, it's gonna kind of hinder performance a little bit. So where do I even start with this thing? Man, I love the way this truck looks. I'm a real big fan of this body style. I love the pinched front. You know, it let me keep the front end off of rocks. You could kind of turn into obstacles and get it popped up onto them instead of having anything to snag real bad. Same thing is true of the back. You know, our departure angle is surprisingly good on this guy. I did drag the rear bumper a couple of times, but you know, I think it's pretty well perfect the way it is right now, being slightly bobbed. I was pretty happy with my tire choice. These Nittos are kind of one of my go-to scale tires now, and I've got a couple other tires that I want to try on this truck, but I want to get these scrubbed in really nicely and kind of get the foams broken so that I can really go out and see how well it climbs a couple of those climbs that I've got marked on the trail system that we were on earlier. That transmission, I gotta say, initially I was a little skeptical of a transmission with that much mechanical stuff going on. You know, there's a lot going on in that transmission there's a lot of gears, there's a lot of bearings. Setting up those servos might be, you know, a little intimidating for a newbie or even a seasoned veteran. You know, it took me a little bit to get everything dialed in perfectly so my servos weren't trying to eat themselves. But I got it all working, and I gotta say, this is the first time I've ever had dig in any rig. I'm just gonna come out and say it right now. That wasn't a comp rig. I've never had dig in a scale truck before, and I love it. Dig is amazing. I can turn on a dime with this thing. It came in handy a lot of times out on the trail, and I think Vanquish might have changed my mind that dig maybe actually does belong in a scale truck every once in a while. So you pair that dig with the adjustable overdrive, and again, I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, man, that's really cool. That seems like a really cool, you know, bullet point, something cool to put on the box. Again, a lot of mechanical going on, but that adjustable front 2-speed, basically, I was able to kick that thing into high overdrive and pull this thing up out of some stuff that it otherwise wouldn't have made it. I tried a couple of the same lines more than once, just using the stock overdrive and then the 2-speed, the second speed on overdrive, and I couldn't believe that extra wheel pull from the front end just drug this thing up some things that there's no way. I was looking at it, I'm like, there's no way it's gonna make it up that. And then it just tanks right up it. So I definitely am impressed with the VFD Twin. It's an awesome transmission. I have had 0 issues with it. Even though I haven't had any issues with it, I still am gonna do a couple upgrades. I'm thinking about doing the aluminum transmission standoffs just to stiffen everything up a little bit, because I think the plastic flexes under heavy load. And the bearing plates inside the VFD Twin, they're the same as the other VFD with the 30 tooth overdrive gears. So I think I'm gonna order up those, and then Vanquish has the brand new hardened machined gear set out for the VFD Twin. And so I think I'm gonna pick all 3 of those upgrades up and just kind of beef up this transmission, so I have nothing to worry about for many, many trail batteries to come. Well guys, I didn't get enough fun drive time with the Phoenix the first time out, so decided to make another trip out into the wild. Decided to come up to a little different spot, Boulder Lake, instead of my favorite spot on the back of the lake. I hit that all the time, and that's all that black rock and stuff you guys were seeing previously. Man, hiking uphill, not shape. Do this more often for sure. We just got to cross this little creek down here, take the little trail up to Louis Lake, and then we're gonna come up here across the dam, play around in the spillway. So should be a lot of fun. Look at this though, this is just beautiful. One of these days I'm gonna have to take a truck all the way around this, so I'm pretty sure there's a trail. Might even have to bring a fishing rod next time. Skinny tree of death with slippery log bridge.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely an ankle twister if you're not careful.
Yeah.
That thing's going.
So I've probably got about maybe 15 total 3S packs through this rig. Not a single issue other than I had one servo horn come off, and that is totally my fault because I forgot to put the main screw in, and I did have to do a little trail fix while we were out there. So even though that's slightly embarrassing, everything else performed flawlessly. I've got the 3100 ROC412 system on 3S, just ran icy cold. I have no fan in this truck, and I drove this thing for hours on end. The very first time out, I think I was out on the trail for about 4.5 hours. So I swapped the battery twice and definitely managed to put some miles on this thing. So overall, I am super impressed with this truck. The mod bug is always trying to bite me super hard, but I think I just want to kind of leave this one alone. We're going to do those upgrades in the tranny just to make sure that we've got that kind of taken care of. And then I'm going to leave it. I mean, Vanquish has the aluminum F10 housings out, and as awesome as those are, and I love Vanquish axles, I think I'm just going to stick with trusty old plastic on this one. You know, these slide really nice. I think other than maybe the panhard mount, that's the only thing I'm concerned about in the future. There's nothing on this truck that I can foresee being, you know, a real weak point. So, yeah, I'm super happy with this one, and I cannot wait to get back out on the trails. I'm actually moving right along into the next build. We're going to do an element-based build next, so keep an eye out for episodes 1 and 2. And I'm actively working on that truck right now as I have free time. So be sure you check that one out. We're going to make another badass scale truck. And yeah, I think that's about it for this one. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.